zelf. Dat gezicht is dus minder leven van die perceelstreken in het midden met behulp van een paletmes. Dat vind je in die vorm niet terug, zeker niet in het gelaat. Want als je vindt dat je zou moeten schilderen om weer verder te komen, waarom zou je in hemelsnaam een zelfportret willen maken en niet een boeksteleven?
With Louis van Tilburg, who in the article suggests that he's probably a painting by the sun. It is important to realize.
Well, it has immense importance. Now we have a Van Gogh again, because it had been questioned in the literature for a period of time, and we were in doubt as whether it was genuine or not. But now we can feel confident because of the very thorough work and research that the Van Gogh Museum has been through.
Yeah, we skip a room, I think.
Met name ook uit die periode en ook dat de typische gebroken kleuren, het wat sombere groen-bruin, goed. En dat is nu het moment waarvan we eigenlijk dus, en je zou zelfs kunnen beweren dat dit de min of meer de genadeklap was voor hem was, in de zin van dat hij vanaf... It all cases where it's difficult, like this one. Yeah, but it's a difficult.
So, and this was one of the pictures that was believed not to be by him from that time onwards. That has something to do with the fact that it's indeed a little bit different than the other self-portraits that he made in the south of France. So you could say stylistically it's a bit different. And that's, I think, the main reason, in combination with the fact that it doesn't have a full provenance at the time, at least it didn't have a full provenance at the time, leading back to Van Gogh. It had an early provenance in the sense that it belonged to the art dealer Vollard in 1910.
En zoals u ziet, zien we hier twee portretten naast elkaar. Het rechts van die kop zelf. En dat betekent eigenlijk dat dit schilderij een beetje expressiever is.
The picture is researched technically, and that means that we indeed looked at the canvas and it was able to see that it's an unprimed canvas. And although it was believed that this was unusual for him, it's not, because that is typical of what he did in Saint-Rémy in 1889. He used occasionally unprimed canvases for his pictures. Secondly, the pigments are also totally in harmony with what we know of Van Gogh. Even in a relationship with what is typical for his pigments in Saint-Rémy, which is different than in Arles, because he's using broken tones. We see here indeed, well, mixed colors, as you could say.
Wat betekent het voor waarde dat dit een echte Van Gogh is?
Nou, wat ik dus zeg.
And what makes it really strange is indeed that he has used his palette knife for the face. So he has painted it, and during the process he suddenly decides that it has to become flat. Well, we tend to think that it has to do with the fact that it's indeed made during a period when he was suffering from the psychosis. It was at the end. It wasn't an interval in which he was permitted to paint, but nevertheless he was still, I think, sick. And he wanted to in this picture, it's evidently that he wanted to say in this picture that he was an ill person. And so it's a kind of therapeutic work, we tend to think, because he was a Protestant, and as a Protestant you have to accept the facts of life. If you suffer, you have to face the suffering.
Het werk werd ook als in 1896 betiteld als een zelfportret van Gogh. Dus het is hem. Zij het dat een aantal kenmerken door hem... Dus het wordt een levenloze soort expressie die hij heeft dan in zijn andere zelfportretten. Vervolgens is hij genezen, althans van die psychose, ongeveer 1,5 week later. En vervolgens geeft hij zich weer in een toestand.
It becomes an important piece because now we suddenly link much more the two other portraits with this one. And it makes it perfectly understanding what goes on. First you see a sick person, and then he recovers, he stands up, he says in one of his letters. And then he's got permission to not make only one work, but he's got enough energy to work all the time. He's still fragile, physically fragile. He has still a fake gaze, he says, but those portraits testify The later ones testify that it's getting better.
Wanneer zag je dit schilderij voor het eerst?
Ik heb dat schilderij pas voor het eerst gezien toen het hier
When we delivered the painting in 14, they warned us and said, you might not like the result, and it might be that we will never find out. So we were very happy when we got the news that they had been through all these different kinds of questions and investigated the work from different points of view.
Daar gaan wij niet over. Ik vrees dat dit schilderij ook niet te koop wordt aangeboden, dus dit werk heeft geen financiële waarde bij wijze van spreken.